Hello YouTube! I'm standing here in Riesa at the Bundesparteitag of the party AfD, and as Elon Musk tells us, only the AfD can save Germany. Maybe starting with you, Ms. Anderson, what do you think is that a tech billionaire as Elon Musk decides to now pitch in, weigh in, and share his opinions on this German party?
Well, first of all, it's not interference, and it's not any different from what Bill Gates is doing or Soros has been doing for decades now. So now it's just the wind is turning. Their house of cards is tumbling down, as we could see with Donald Trump being reelected, and he will serve another 4 years in the White House. So yeah, finally we are getting some support from people like Soros, but from the other side. So it's absolutely great. It's brilliant. And that's the reason why they are completely hyperventilating and having these accusations, illegal party to nations. They're trying to construct, some kind of thing that would be considered illegal. It's absolutely ludicrous. And I can say, man, when Elon Musk stepped up and had that space with Alice Weidel, and that he live streamed our Congress yesterday. I mean, never in the history of Germany I can think of that any party had so many views. I mean, we're talking millions and millions here. So it's great. I'm loving it.
Speaking of which, I want to come to you, Ms. ANNA NGUYEN, also delegate from the AfD from Hessen. Thank you much for being with us. I want to ask about the importance of social media, especially now as the election is in full swing. Do you think that the digital Wahlkampf, the digital fight in this election is going to become even more important? And has it been shown, especially since it's winter time, that the digital part of this fight will have to become increasingly more important, specifically as we go into an uncertain future?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've already seen that in the United States, where Trump has actually won his election also thanks to the social media and by actually disregarding the classic media, right? And I think that's also happening in Germany. So the tables are also turning in the media sphere. And yeah, social media is becoming increasingly more important. We can also see that in our polls. So we fare very well amongst the youngsters who use a lot of social media and who don't watch classic TV anymore, and who don't read classic newspapers. So yeah, we're really strong in the social media, and that's why it's super important for us.
And also, if I may jump in here real quick, and also it's become quite clear that the mainstream media, the legacy media, they have become indoctrination institutions. They no longer report on what is. They no longer report on actual events. They're literally indoctrinating people, and they're trying to steer them into a certain direction of what they believe the world should be like. So, and the people, they just caught on to that, and they figured it out. So as Elon Musk said, and I can would like to reiterate that, yeah, X, former Twitter, has become the new media, and people are realizing that. And it's just been fantastic. And, my party is really successful in social media. That is why they try to censor us. I mean, just to think, when Elon Musk sat down with Alice Weidel for that Twitter space, they had 150 EU officers watching that space.
Bureaucrats, yes.
Bureaucrats, yeah, to watch that space, to maybe intervene, censor it, or do whatever. I mean, this is unheard of in liberal democracies, unprecedented. That is known to totalitarian regimes, right? And that's exactly what the EU has become, and a lot of other member states in the EU as well. So we're fighting this, and yeah, looks like we're winning.
Anna, I want to come back to you for another question on basically the perception of the AfD. So we realize now from talking to you that internationally you're much better connected now. The AfD is much better plugged into all the other networks that are conservative leaning all over the world, actually, especially into Europe. But do you also see that there's a shift in terms of the age group of followers that are now looking or maybe discovering the AfD? specifically like you as a younger person, when you look at your own following, do you see like a younger demographic turning towards the right conservative movement now?
Well, absolutely. Actually, it's the other way around. So the older people who still watch TV don't vote for us. They think that the CDU is still conservative, and that's why they keep voting for the CDU. Whereas the youngsters who, as I said, don't consume classic media anymore, they vote for us because we're anti-establishment, we're cool, and we actually do really good campaigns. And I agree with Christine. So the media is very biased and very leftist, and people realize that they are what I've just said, namely biased and leftist, and that they cannot be trusted anymore. And yeah, I'm very glad that also Musk is helping us a lot. And you might know the term citizen journalist, and through X we can all become journalists, and that's awesome.
All right, thank you very much. Maybe one last word on Austria. Germany is trying to elect its first blue chancellor in terms of Alice Weidel, but it might be that Austria gets there first if Kickel gets his way. Could you weigh in on that, like on this situation in Austria? What's happening in Vienna in your perception?
When I heard the news that they interrupted their coalition talks, I was like, yes, they're so stupid. So, you know, just let's step back a little bit. So the FPÖ in Austria came in first, came in strongest party. So, and it is, you know, good practice that the strongest party obviously will be in charge of forming a new government. But the FPÖ was not allowed to do that. At that point, Kickel even was, you know, prepared, or he said, well, I don't even want to be chancellor, you know, just talk to us, we form a government, whatever I'll do.
So he was willing to step down?
Yes, he did not insist on being the chancellor. Yeah. He said, you know, Secretary of State or something like that, I'm fine with that. Yeah. But they didn't even speak to him. So now they failed, and that's the thing. When your only goal is to prevent one party, right? You will have just a kind of a collection of all kinds of ideologies, and you will never be able to form a stable government. And that's where they ended up with. So they had to, you know, call it quits. And now Kickel is being asked to form a government, and now, of course, he is saying, yeah, and guess what? And now I'm going to be chancellor. And you can take it or leave it. Because if we have new elections, hell, you know, we're at 38% now. So he is in a very, very strong position right now. And they brought it upon themselves. They're idiots. They're really idiots. And I'm just loving it.
Amazing. I love how frank you are about these things. Anna, I'm sure you follow these developments as well. Do you find that they're maybe too technical to explain them to like a younger audience? Or do you feel that a younger audience is actually more plugged in than we regularly think and is aware of all of these developments? Do you need a lot of explaining when you come to covering these topics? Or is it already sort of like front and center of the perception of younger people? Do they understand these processes?
Yeah, I think the latter. I think the topic is very straightforward. So I think the main issue is that the other parties, let's say the old parties, are not democratic anymore. So they show that they don't respect the voters and their votes. And this is very easy to understand, right? Looking at, well, Germany, of course, Austria, Romania and stuff. So
you don't, excuse me for interrupting. So you don't get the feedback that people tell you like, oh, don't bother me with politics, it's too complicated for me?
Not at all, not at all. I think young people are very interested in politics because it affects their daily lives, right? And they, see all the problems that the old parties have caused.
All right. Well, thank you very much, you two. I wish you all the best, and let's hope for a blue winter here in Germany.
Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.